Hey guys, so I know it might look a little different right now. I got this thing on to cover my face. I got this to cover my hair because I am building a desk and that means sawdust everywhere. As you know, back in episode, I don't know what, I was talking about some design ideas I had for the RV, and one of those design ideas was to create a desk where the dining table was. I haven't done any woodworking or used any power tools since middle school and junior high. I was like phenomenal at woodshop, but this is the first time I'm working with wood in a very long time, and so it's almost intimidating because some of these tools are just like, what? With this tool, I'm just using the sanding attachment, so it's not that bad. I'm gonna change this sandpaper out from 80 grit to 120, and I'm gonna sand that front side with some 120 grit. Okay, so I just finished sanding and it feels pretty good. A spider just flew into my face. So now that's cleaned off. I'm gonna go ahead and paint. I'm gonna start with the back side. I put the first coat paint on the back side. Hopefully it dries pretty soon and I can get another coat on there before the sun is completely down. As you can see, I'm losing some daylight here, but I feel pretty good about it. I think I've made pretty good progress. But once the sun goes down and I can't do anything else, I'm going to go inside and start working on the other pieces. I'm actually building a bookshelf that's going to go in the middle to support the center of the desk. So I think it's going to all come together pretty nicely. So we'll see. Okay guys, so this is like 3 days later from the other video, and now I have finished sanding, I've finished painting that piece, and I've built a bookcase. I've got it upside down. I'm about to add a base to it because what happened was my legs that I'm using are metal plumbing pipes, and they're 30 inches, and I was about as short as I could go with the pipe configuration that I'm using, and so I needed to actually add 1 inch to this bookcase to give it the height that I need for it to match up with the legs. And so I'm gonna put these wooden squares on, these bases. They're 1 inch thick. I'm gonna put these on the bottom. I'm gonna glue them using liquid nails. That'll raise my bookcase by a whole inch, and then everything will be even, and then I'll start piecing this together. So, wish me luck. That's as far back as it'll go plugged in. So I'll finish this later as far as like gluing this to that. I'm not gonna do that tonight.
You need to set it though.
I'm not gonna do that tonight.
Yeah,
So right now I want to pick this up and set it on the ground.
Right?
The proper way. I'll be down. Is it too tall? Wait, we did it backwards? I measured it. We measured moving ones. It's off millimeters. So I think I'm just gonna have to sacrifice the design, to be honest.
And then the wood is bowed also.
Alright guys, so fast forward a little bit, and as you can see behind me, the desk is complete. So I'm sorry I don't have any footage to show you of what happened in between because I somehow lost it. No idea what happened there. So sorry about that. But I'm excited to show you guys the finished product here. As you can see, I got my laptop, I got my extra screen, and we still have space. This is my side, this is Erica's side, and when we're both sitting here, there's no problem. And I don't always have my screen, so if I take the screen away, I still have a lot of space. It's very functional, and we love it. Absolutely love it. Now, there are a few things that we did different that in episode 23, when I'm talking about the idea of this desk, I didn't mention because I didn't really know back then exactly what I wanted. I knew I wanted a desk that might turn into a table, but I wasn't exactly like, I hadn't really fully fleshed out what that would look like or how I would accomplish that. And I even showed some sketches in that video. And so I think this is, if you look at some of those sketches, if you go back to that episode, I think this comes pretty close. The only thing I didn't finish is the tabletop, the flip up tabletop that I want to add. And here's why. We've had this desk done now for maybe a couple of months. Yeah, I know it's been that long. So for about a couple of months, and we haven't missed eating on a table. At least I haven't, and I haven't heard Erica complain about she wants her table back. So until we feel a need for a table, I'm not gonna rush into making one. And the cool thing about this storage is I found this shelf at Target for about 35 bucks. It's fully adjustable. So you just take this out. It's got these metal pieces in that you can move, and you can rearrange the size of your cubby holes, which is pretty neat. I changed a few things in the design, including the legs. At first I was thinking just wooden legs, and I end up using plumbing pipes, which I love. And I was inspired by my father-in-law, who has since passed away, and I was inspired by some of the things that he had in his own house, and I was like, that's what I'm gonna do, just in honor of him. And also I took some license plates that he had, and I incorporated one of them. I was able to salvage one of them, and so I incorporated that into the desk as well, and it's pretty cool. So this desk is not only functional and something that we love to use, but it's also just something to kind of remind us of Erica's dad. So one thing I didn't prepare for that neither one of us saw coming was, and you can see at the end of that last video clip that you watched, was the wood bowed. And what was happening was when we laid this up, it was falling over. It wasn't flush with the bookcase, even though they should have been the same height. The middle of the wood started to bow up. And so what I ended up having to do, I had to put liquid nails on top of the bookcase and secure it with some screws on top of the desktop, which I didn't want to do. I didn't want to put screws on the face of the desk, but it kind of goes with this industrial look that we got going, and we did it pretty raw. We didn't measure it out. We didn't evenly space the screws, and I even left the splinters in there. I'm like, why not, right? And so far so good. It's starting to grow on me and I like it. Yeah, it's not too bad. So in episode 23, I kind of guessed that I might spend $100 on this project. Well, when it was all said and done, this ended up costing $213. So the bookcase, like I mentioned, was $35. This was about $30. Keep in mind, this was a larger piece of plywood, and I had Home Depot cut it down the size. I knew exactly the dimensions I wanted, and they'll give you two or three cuts for free. And then the metal pipes is where it got expensive. So if you take a look, each leg, I only have 2 legs. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces per leg. And yeah, see, I still haven't even taken the stickers off, but yeah, these things add up. I think these flanges here were about $7 a piece, something like that. And so I ended up finding a 10-pack on HomeDepot.com for $20. And then these pipes were like $5 or $6. This might have been $3. I can't remember, but it tallied up rather quickly. Yeah, and so you might be asking, all right, cool looking desk. It looks practical. It looks functional. Great job, Carissa and Erica. But how is this thing going to travel down the road, right? This thing is actually bolted down to the floor. So I have some flanges down there, and I think they got 4 or 5 holes in them. And I just have some wood screws going in, because keep in mind the floor is plywood. We also secured it on the side of the desk. We've got some L brackets and made sure that those L brackets not only connected to the floor and to the desk, but they also connect to the 1-inch base that I added to the bottom of the bookcase. I wanted each piece to be secured and connected together, just to give it a little bit more strength. We're actually going to take this thing on the road for the first time coming up, and so hopefully we shouldn't have any problems, and we'll get to see how that works out. The desk is great. I hope you guys like it. It clears up a lot of space. It's real clean on the floor. Cam also loves it because now he's got extra carpet that he can roll over on. Alright guys, so hopefully you enjoyed that video. If you did, please like it, comment on it, share it, and if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit that bell icon also, so you can be notified when we come out with new material. We're full-time RVers. We've been doing this for a couple years, and we don't know everything, and we don't pretend that we know everything, and we're pretty honest about that. And at the same time, we're also climbing out of debt. And so if you're into becoming debt-free, and if you're into traveling, if you're into RVing, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye guys.